The Enneagram Type 8 is nicknamed the Challenger because they find their identity by overcoming obstacles and imposing their will on their environment. 8s naturally feel challenged by life, and so they respond by challenging it back. 8s also feel like a bit of an outsider or like a vigilante because they've always done what they thought was right, even if it flew in the face of social norms or mainstream morality. It takes a lot of effort to constantly resist your environment, but thankfully, 8s have a ton of mental and physical energy, which is why they're typically workaholics. 8s work so hard because their core desire is to be in control of their life. So naturally, that means their core fears are all tied to being controlled or harmed by others or their environment. Like even natural disasters touch on that core fear for 8s. Challengers don't often feel that fear too viscerally though, for two reasons. First, they avoid emotions like the plague and prefer physical or logic-based work. And second, they're usually filled with a ton of self-confident, bordering on arrogant energy. This makes 8s super comfortable going it alone. And in fact, teamwork is kind of tough for 8s unless they have some clear form of authority within the group. 8s are motivated by leaving their mark on people and places, and that only comes from being in charge, or so they believe. It's probably not surprising that 8s don't have much patience for weakness, and that usually stems from the fact they had to grow up really fast. I'll get more into their childhood in a second, but it's important to know that when dealing with 8s, there is often no appealing to their softer side because they weren't taught the value of mercy or vulnerability growing up. Vulnerability creates the opportunity to be hurt or abandoned. And 8s are terrified of being abandoned. That's why they push up against people so frequently, because they want to figure out sooner rather than later if you've got what it takes to keep up with them. 8s, however, do have an incredibly soft, sensitive soul. They're hard on the outside and soft on the inside. And that's why so many 8s love animals, because even the biggest, baddest, gruffest dude can still jostle his dog's face and say, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?" And although 8s primarily protect themselves by pushing others away, they do have enormous potential to use their strength for the betterment of others, and they can have a truly heroic sensibility when it comes to self-sacrifice for the greater good. Okay, that's the 8 in a nutshell. Now let's go a layer deeper and talk about how their childhood experience impacts the way 8s see the world today.